the Hindu newspaper on March 25, 2022. So there are few important news on front page. Of course, first news is about Yogi Adityanath to take oath as a UP Chief Minister today. Yogi Adityanath was elected leader of the Uttar Pradesh BJP Legislative Party on Thursday in a unanimous vote and is all set to take oath on Friday as the Chief Minister for the second term. The second news is about international relations. International relations of India with Russia. So government steps in to tackle Russian trade hurdles. Jaishankar does not rule out reviving rupee-ruble trade. What is this ruble? Ruble. Ruble is the currency of Russia. So the government has convened a multi-ministerial group to look into how to overcome challenges in trade with Russia, including managing payments for the importers and exporters. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said in Parliament on Thursday in comments that indicates a possible revival of rupee-ruble trade in the wake of economic sanctions against the Russian banks and entities. So there are sanctions, economic sanctions against the Russian banks and entities by more than 40 US and European allies. Answering the number of questions during the question hour in Rajya Sabha on India's stand on Russian and Ukraine war, including some of that raised concern over the India's abstention. We will discuss this concept abstention at the United Nations and impact of the Indian policy on India's trade and ties with the US. Mr. Jaishankar said that India's position is for peace and that foreign policy decisions are made in Indian national interest. So this is very interesting. India's position is for peace, but the policy is in Indian interest. So the next important part of this news is India abstains in United Nations General Assembly. Abstain. What is mean abstain? Abstain. Abstain means refrain from voting. India abstains in United Nations General Assembly. India on Thursday abstain in the United Nations General Assembly on a resolution by the Ukraine and its allies on humanitarian crises in war-torn Eastern European countries, saying the focus should be on cessation of hostilities and on urgent humanitarian assistance. So, United Nations General Assembly, there are 193 members in United Nations General Assembly. So the 193 member United Nations General Assembly adopted the draft resolution with 140 nations voting in favor, 5 against it and 38 abstentions. On Wednesday, India along with the 12 other United Nations Security Council members abstained on the resolution by Russia on humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. The next news is about Pakistan. So opposition parties in Pakistan, they have submitted a no confidence motion against Imran Khan. So the Prime Minister of Pakistan minister hints at early elections. No confidence motion against the Imran Khan likely to put to vote next week. Pakistan's Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid on Thursday said early election could be held to end the current political uncertainties triggered by the no trust motion against Prime Minister Imran Khan. Addressing the press conference in Islamabad, Mr. Rashid, leader of Awami Muslim League Pakistan, which is a coalition partner of the ruling Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI). This is the name of Imran Khan's party. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf warned party's descendants that switching sides would not do them any good. Pakistan has been on the edge since the opposition parties on March 8 submitted the no confidence motion before the National Assembly Secretariat, alleging that the PTI government led by Mr. Khan was responsible for the economic crisis and spiraling inflation. So these are the main reasons why the opposition parties have submitted no confidence motion. The reasons are economic crisis and spiraling inflation. So there are 342 members in National Assembly of Pakistan. PTI, that is Imran Khan's party, has 155 members in it. The PTI has 155 members in the 342 member National Assembly and need at least 172 lawmakers on its side to remain in the government. Next news is about COVID-19 death compensations. Compensation will be of 50,000 rupees. Supreme Court fixes 60 days limit for COVID-19 death claim. Supreme Court on Thursday fixed the outer limits to apply for COVID-19 death compensation at 60 days for the deaths that occurred prior to March 2022 and 90 days in case of future deaths. The states have to process the applications and make the actual payments of 50,000. So this is very important, how much payment the states will have to pay. It will be 50,000 for each death within 30 days of date of recipient of claim. If no outer limit of the time is fixed, there is a greater possibility of making the false claim. Why this limit is put? If no outer limit of the time is fixed, there is a greater possibility of making the false claims. The state have received approximately 7,38,610 applications for ex gratia compensation for the death of their loved ones. The next important news on the front page is Maharashtra passes a bill making Marathi mandatory in local bodies. What is the name of this bill or this act? Maharashtra Local Authorities Official Language Act. Maharashtra Local Authorities Official Language Act. Non-implementation of act would invite disciplinary action. Maharashtra Assembly on Thursday passed a bill making use of Marathi language mandatory in all local authorities of the state. Bill was moved following the complaints from the various quarters about the Marathi not being used in the offices of the local self-government authorities. The bill brought in by the language department. This bill was brought in by the language department states that Marathi would be used for all official purposes as well as related to